let's go back to acceptance. That's one of the things that people don't do, and I'm going to use my notebook here because I want you all to know that you have to accept that you and your partner are not perfect. Who's perfect here? Raise your hand. Girl, I was getting ready to. So this is one of the primary reasons couples now succeed in their relationships because there's a lack of security and confidence that you don't have in that relationships. And building this acceptance, you are actually building trust. Does that make sense? When you have acceptance, you're building trust because you can be yourself. You can tell your partner whatever is on your mind. They're not going to judge you. They're not going to hold you. They're just going to say, okay, well, what is it that you need from me? How can I help? And that's what we need in the relationships. But over time, you can lose trust. And with your partner, you start to neglect each other. And you break down that mutual love and respect for each other that you need. Now, before I go on to the next section, when I talk about the barriers, Sharon, a few months ago, she did a dating game. And she had two individuals go on a date. And we have one of those people here with us. So I'm going to call Miss Monica Morgan up so that she can speak about that experience. Everybody give Miss Monica Morgan a round of applause. She's an introvert, but she has a radio show, right?
Everyone, I am an introvert. So let me share something.
Her mic's not on.
Uh-oh. It's not on? I'm sorry.
It goes in and out. Just work with us.
I'll speak loudly. So it was 2015. I was at the hospital with the love of my life. I was told by doctors that he wasn't going to make it through the day. And so I had been living in the hospital, sleeping on chairs. He had never gone to an appointment with me. Well, that day, of course, I was down. I had gone to the cafeteria and come back. And someone said, "You received some flowers." So there was this big, huge bouquet. There was this big, huge bouquet of flowers. And I didn't want flowers from anybody. The love of my life was laying in the room next to this room where I was sitting in, passing on. I had to allow the family members and people to see him. That's why he stepped out. So my friend said, "Read the card." I didn't want to read the card. I just couldn't imagine who would be that insensitive. She kept saying gently, "Read the card." So finally, I opened the card, and in the roses, there was also a balloon that said, "I love you," but the card said, "Boo, I'll always love you." And what had happened, my husband had asked someone to send me flowers when he could no longer do it. So that evening, as he slipped on, I had those flowers that he had thought of to send to me. So when you had a true love, it is so hard to move on. That was 2015. And one thing that I will always remember is that he said, "I thank God every day for you." When you have met your soulmate, when you've married your soulmate, when you've been with that person, it's hard to accept anything that's less.